Legion.
What is up, Comic Legion? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm really excited. Today was an awesome day. I took the day off from work to kind of recoup from the holidays and did a lot of running around, catching up on things. And I stopped by one of my local honey holes at the end of the day just to kind of browse around. Didn't really expect to spend any money or buy anything, but I came across one of my big key books for 2021. I kind of slimmed down. I got a very targeted list for this year, and it was a big one on it that I didn't pick up last year, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at these things. Before we do that, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps out a lot. You can hit that notification bell. It alerts you anytime new videos drop. I try to keep a good steady flow of content coming out, and I really appreciate everybody who's already subscribed. And I'm close to 400 subscribers. I think I'm at 379. So coming up here in the next week or so, I'll start putting together the next prizes for the next giveaway, because I do appreciate everybody checking out the content and hanging out and allowing me to participate and be a part of such an amazing community. So I want to be able to give something back as an appreciation. So that'll be coming up here quick, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you have to be a subscriber to be eligible to win. So getting right back into it. Like I said, it was a busy day for me. I did a lot of running around. I hung out with my dad today, who, if you've watched my channel, you might have caught that he's been collecting since the early 60s. I'm a second generation collector. He is the reason why I'm so into all this stuff. I grew up around it. So getting to hang out with him is always a blast. We just shoot the ish and talk books and all kinds of stuff, and had a lot we had to do today. And we were talking about hitting one of the local honey holes toward the end of the day. And we about didn't go. We had ran out of time. I had to go get my kids and all that good stuff. But we decided to pop in just for a minute. And I'm glad we did, because this spot, he only deals in older merchandise like buy, sell, and trade. And he had just gotten a huge collection off somebody. And so his whole inventory was shaken up. And one of the books that I've been on the lookout for, been waiting to find it at that right price. It was sitting right there beautifully on his wall. And dude, I couldn't be more happy right now, because I found it and another book. So I was able to pull off two from my very targeted list. So if you've watched my channel here recently, you've noticed that I've picked up some back issues of the Demon. I'm a big DC Jack Kirby fan, and that's what this video is about, is some DC Jack Kirby. So in the early 70s, Jack Kirby left Marvel Comics. He had some major differences with Stan Lee and Marvel Comics over the way that he was treated, the way that he was compensated, and just the general way things are being ran over there. So he switched to the competitors. He went over to DC Comics. And I'm a big DC guy. I'm a big Kirby guy. And when you mix the two of those things together, I'm in heaven. And I've been filling in stuff on the Demon, but I figured I'd show off some of these back issue ones I already have. But I do have the Demon #1 in an extremely low grade for this book. But I got this book for like 20 bucks. So I'm not in any kind of bad way with this book or on the price and getting it graded. I didn't get this one clean and pressed. It was before I ever sent anything through the cleaning and pressing services at CBCS, or before I found the guy that I use for pressing, which is comic book _ pressing on Instagram. His name's Eric. And yeah, but this one hasn't been cleaned or pressed. I'm sure I'll upgrade this to a keeper copy later, because with all these books, I kind of try to get them. I kind of shoot for anywhere between 6 and 8. I'm not necessarily aiming for the highest grade ones, and I don't want too low of a grade. But he came out with that Demon book in 1972, about kind of midway point on his run at DC Comics. And he also came out with Commandy, The Last Boy on Earth, in 1972. And this was one of my more recent pickups. I also got this from a local comic shop here. Got it at an amazing price, and it's actually a really good copy. I'm thinking with a good clean and press, this one can easily hit a 7.5, like easily. So I'm excited to get that one done. It'll be in the near future. I just spent a big chunk of the day today submitting 19 books to CGC. Extremely time consuming. Wears you out. The next book that I've had in my collection that was my first big DC Kirby book that I got. I was pumped when I got this. I got it also for an amazing price. And I think it was like the very first episode of my weekly hangout show called At Week's End. is when I first unboxed this, was that very first episode, but it's Forever People issue number 1, and this is the first full appearance of Darkseid. Really, it's just the first appearance of Darkseid. Like he's had 2 other cameos in Jimmy Olsen, but they weren't even cameos. If you look at cameos in other books, like you see Darkseid silhouetted in the background once. You see one panel with just like part of his face on his screen monitor in the background of the panel. So this was really his rollout book for Darkseid, and it's really cool because of course it's Jack Kirby art. But at the time in DC, like you think like I'd like to see Jack Kirby draw Superman, but you never really do. Like he gets to draw all this stuff, but Superman was so iconic and so important to DC that he had such a reputation and a style and a look associated with him. They had the Superman artists at the time go back and draw his face. So Kirby didn't get to do the Superman face work on it. It's really super cool. But he still has that classic iconic look to him. But again, awesome book. The Forever People is the first full appearance of Darkseid, first appearance of the Forever People, and it has appearances by Superman and Jimmy Olsen. I do not have those Jimmy Olsen issues yet. I haven't seen them come through local, and I try to buy stuff locally. Try to just kind of hold off. I do keep an eye out online if I see something for like an amazing price, but I'd still rather just get them locally when I can, and just always kind of have like a larger size list of stuff that I would necessarily want, and just see what happens to come through. And every now and then I definitely get jumpy and just have to have something when I need to have it. But I tend to try my best just to see what comes through, and today was one of those days. But another one that I had picked up early on around the time of getting that Forever People was probably my favorite DC Kirby book after the one that I picked up today. This is New Gods issue number 1. This is a major, major number 1 issue for DC Comics. And it's awesome that Kirby's on it. He has that classic color scheme to Orion there. It just looks awesome. It's very reminiscent of kind of like modern artists when they're doing stuff after Kirby. They kind of color it like that. Like I've seen this Galactus figure that is just colored like that with all different colors and styles to it like that. I don't know why that's so associated with Jack Kirby, but awesome book. And this one's listed as the first appearance of Orion, Light Ray, Metron, Highfather, and Calibac. So that's a really big one. And I do have a couple other issues of New Gods, and dude, that series and Forever People just were knocking out first appearances like every issue for a while. Like you have a Ambush Bug and Calibac, and then that one you have Desaad and Forever People number 2, the Infinity Man. They're just new first appearances all over those early DC Kirby books, and those characters became so instrumental in the DC comic books. Like Darkseid is like the biggest villain for them ever, and all the characters that are associated with it, and like Cyborg is attached to that mythos now. It wasn't at the time, but Forever People is like the first appearance of Boom Tube. So you get like Mother Boxes, Boom Tubes, all that stuff that's like secondhand with DC Comics that everyone who follows DC even a little bit are familiar with, like Cyborg being attached to all that stuff now, how they retconned him into that. So there's just so much going on with it. So for the ones that I picked up today, one of them is a smaller one, but for me it's no small book, and this is in easy and near mint shape. But this was 1974, and it started out as just a one shot that Jack Kirby did, but it kind of was well received, and they ended up doing 5 more issues and making a 6-issue run out of it. But it's Jack Kirby and Simon with Sandman issue number 1, and that is a crispy copy, guys. You can cut diamonds with that. That is a sharp book right there, man. Love the colors on it. That blue background looks so well, and you have so much going on in the background with all those demons and nightmares and stuff back there, and this classic Kirby artwork and that complete action pose with just the wild proportions on the characters. Like you just can't beat that, man. That artwork is just amazing. His characters are fantastic. And then for the big one today, like this is the one that I was really after, even since I started getting like Forever People and New Gods. When I started chasing those, I was really looking for a good copy of this one. And this is not a near mint copy, but I'm hoping that with a good clean and press, I can hit at least a 7 with it. That's really all I'm hoping for. Trying to keep it in that range between 6 and 8. And that'd be a happy middle. But we have the man himself, the making of a legend, the super escape artist, Scott Free, known as Mr. Miracle number 1. So I got this at a killer deal. It does have a couple of spine ticks on it. There's really just one big one. And I did open the book and look at it. It's not tearing or anything like that. It's just a really rough spine tick right there. And I've compared it to my other books over there that Forever People's a 6.5 that, and it looks about like that one does. That one has a white cover, so it really doesn't show as much. But this is such a beautiful book. I love this character so much. His backstory is amazing. His father, the High Father of New Genesis, traded him to Darkseid. And he was raised on Apocalypse by Darkseid, and he couldn't twist him, he couldn't break him, and he just kept learning how to escape and escape and escape over and over until he's the master escape artist. And going along with that, in that trade that Darkseid got, he got scot-free, but the High Father got Darkseid's son, Orion. So Orion was raised on New Genesis, and he became like their biggest leader over there underneath High Father. He's the man of New Genesis. Super cool character. These characters are amazing, and I'm super excited to have added this to the DC Kirby set. So grab me a copy of OMAC and start looking for some more filler issues from those, and start looking for those Jimmy Olsen books a little bit closer, and maybe it'll come in. The owner of the shop today said that that all those books in there were just a tip of the iceberg, and he had all kinds of stuff in there today, man. He had so many first appearances, so many Bronze Age, some Silver Age, all keys. This huge wall was just loaded down. It's such an awesome shop, and I'm super excited to have gotten that today. So thank you everybody for checking out this video and sharing in my excitement. I appreciate everybody who watches the channel. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Definitely consider it. We have that 400 subscriber giveaway going to be announced here shortly. Just got to share these videos out there, get a couple more subscribers, and we'll be at 400. And then we can give some stuff away. And again, thank you everybody. Really excited. It's really late. I'm about to really go to bed. So as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.